शायद मेरे वेबकैम का भी सीन है। ओके पर ठीक है, मैं इंस्टा ऑन कर रहा हूँ। Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? We hope all of you are doing very well, and from our side, we're doing good. And so this live is about a bit about Speedbrakers and more about how you guys are doing and check on you what's happening at your end. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. So how is everyone doing and what's happening at your end? Uh, this is the time when all of us need to support each other. Of course, not physically because it's not allowed, but mentally by calling each other, by asking in messages, whatever, how you guys are doing. So in this lockdown period, we wanted to not talk much about the corona thing, but maybe share with you guys a bit about Speedbrakers. Speedbrakers has been was done by two people from our team. It was me and Ishan. He will be joining us in a while, and it was a 6,367 kilometer journey on a motorcycle in India for 25 days. So we just want to divert your attention. It's difficult for many of us at this particular time. And at the end of the live session, we have something special for you guys with regards to the treks and camps. So we will come to that. And here we have Ishan.
Hey, wait, my people is, should I be wearing a mask?
I think not at home.
Hey, folks, the first thing, if there is anybody else who's wearing a mask just like me in your house, please remove them in your houses. So, sir.
Yeah. So Ishan, would you like to tell us something about Speedbrakers? What exactly is Speedbreaker?
Yes, so people back in 2017, some two people wanted to just go on a bike. These two people traveled 6,367
Kilometers.
kilometers on bike. And let me tell you, when that happened, only one of the two people knew how to ride a bike. So that was him. So Speedbakers was essentially a bike trip that we took. The idea of the bike trip was I don't even know what was the idea of the bike trip.
We had a bike, and one of our friend was getting married in Udaipur. We thought of how about we go on bike from Bangalore to Udaipur. That was the whole idea.
That was the whole idea. So this friend of ours called Geeta Singhal. So one fine day in 2016, she calls us and she says she's getting married, and we said we are very happy for you. And then she says come, and we were like okay, come. So that was the time when Salvat sir bought a bike, and Salvat sir said Ishan bike pe jana hai. I thought he's asking for going to a shop to get groceries, but he meant Udaipur, and I was like let's do this. That's how GBL began. To be very honest, and Salvat sir, is there an interesting story to how we decided the route? So, by the way, before we get into the route part, let me also tell you the places that we covered. What exactly is Speedbrakers? I gave you an idea that we traveled a lot on bike. So, in Speedbrakers, 25 days, 6,367 kilometers, 11 states.
Uh-huh.
somewhere around 11 states, including Karnataka, Maharashtra, Union Territory of Goa, Daman,
Gujarat,
Gujarat, Rajasthan,
Delhi,
Delhi NCR,
Haryana,
Haryana, Andhra Pradesh,
UP, Madhya Pradesh.
Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and back to good old Karnataka. But why?
So that we could attend marriage, and we were supposed to come back to Bangalore.
And one day go live on Facebook and Instagram and boast about it.
Uh, so you were asking me about my favorite part about the ride.
Oh, that's right. So, people, that said, we are here because just like all of you, we are also in lockdown, and we feel that there is a lot of information given out about masks, a lot of paranoia about what we shouldn't be doing and what's about to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen, right? But yet everybody feels like everybody knows. So we are here to just kind of change the topic. Yes, the main focus should always be about keeping ourselves safe, but also to change the topic a little, understand the other things that we've done in the past. So we, in other words, are here to entertain you in the best way we can. So
You can ask us questions
yes,
on Instagram, Facebook.
we are live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube. So
Yeah.
wherever you are, drop in a message anywhere, and we will get in touch. Of course, at the end of this short conversation about our bike trip, we will obviously be addressing about Get Beyond Limits. We will be addressing about the impact of the virus in the trekking fraternity. We realize that nobody has actually addressed it properly. So we will address it from our perspective. Then we also have one big surprise which has never happened in the history of GBL, or probably, I'm not sure, but maybe in the trekking community. We will eventually reveal that. So yes, in this big bike trip covering these many states, there were so many things that we covered. So Salvat sir, in all the states that you covered, is there something in particular that stayed back with you?
Oh, yes. So when we start, okay, a bit about our route. We started from Bangalore, and day one we thought we'll go to Goa because Goa is there.
Because it's Goa.
And then next day from Goa, we wanted to go to Pune because we both have never been to Pune. So we thought, why not? So Goa, early morning at 4 o'clock we start, and we go through some ghat section. It was just too cold. I mean, too cold. I'm just scared of that cold. And the visibility was pretty much zero because of the mist over there. That's like one of the moments when we crossed the ghat sections, and then we started. We reached a bit towards Belgaum, and maybe it was around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. And then that early morning heat or the warmth, that was pretty much beautiful for me.
That's true. And while Sarvasa was riding the bike at 4 in the morning, I mostly don't remember this because I was awake, but mentally I was sleeping. That's the benefit of a pillion. But yeah, so so that was a beautiful moment. We really wish that we could share a lot of pictures and videos with you guys while we spoke of this, because now it might just seem like one-sided dialogue. I wish there was any way we can share our screens, but for that we'll have to end the live video. So I mean, let us know in the comments if there is any way we can share our pictures as well, or maybe for the next live we would be more than happy to share them. And also today, क्या time है sir?
8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock, we will actually select some of our best pictures. Every picture is beautiful in its own way, but we will select some of the places that we spoke of, and we will share them with everyone on our social media handles. Yeah, so the bike began from south, went all the way. So from Bangalore we started, we went to Goa, we went to Pune, we went to Daman, we went to Anand, the place where Amul factory, Amul gets its milk from.
We were ideally supposed to go to Mumbai from Pune, but like we skipped it because there was so much of traffic. So like, okay, let's bypass through some industrial area and stayed somewhere on highway, some industrial areas, and then reached Daman the next day.
Yep. And followed by that, from there, Daman via Anand, we went to Ahmedabad. From there, we went to Kutch because it is Kutch. And we went there, spent a couple of days there Gujarat, which is amazingly beautiful in terms of so many things.
Yeah.
Followed by Rajasthan, followed by Udaipur, Jaipur, followed by Delhi,
Haryana, Rewari.
Haryana, Delhi, and Delhi. So basically, the idea was we had to go to Udaipur because that's where the marriage was happening. But instead of directly going to Udaipur, we thought we'll go to Goa because why not? And from there, both of us wanted to visit Kutch, so why not? So Kutch happened, then Udaipur happened, then our both of us are passed out from a college called Arya College in Jaipur, so we had to go to Jaipur. And at that point of time, my parents were in Delhi, so we had to have Rajma rice from Delhi. So when in Delhi, you have to come back to Bangalore. And then we came all the way straight down, crossing Nagpur, Panchmadi, Hyderabad, Lalitpur.
Yeah, like, do you guys know there's a place called Lalitpur?
What does that mean? Somebody who lives in Lalitpur knows.
Nobody lives in Lalitpur.
Actually, yes, it's kind of a place where automobile parts are manufactured. So I think it's not a residential city. Maybe it is. It's a city. Okay, so before that, let me just address a couple of questions or something people have said. Subtle Body says, tell them how you guys were reading the whole way while Salvatore. Yeah, that's we'll get to that. So, तब तो कुछ बोलो.
I'll I'll give you guys perspective of the pillion and the rider. So I was the rider. So my job was just see roads. That's it. And at times Ishan still says that you remember that beautiful hill we saw there. I'm like, which hill? I have no idea about that. So as a rider, I could only see the roads, but as a pillion, Ishan could see other things. But the other side is, as a rider, I had a job to do. My job was just to ride, that's all, and reach a certain destination by a certain time. And Ishan, on the other hand, day one, all right, we're friends, so he started cracking jokes and all because there was nothing to talk on.
Started talking about ex-girlfriend. we realized that the kilometers passed faster when you talk about an ex-girlfriend. No secret.
Then day one, all right, ex-girlfriends. Day two, jokes.
More ex-girlfriends.
Day three was like he started making jokes on himself because there was no acknowledgement from my side. I mean, it's just road and nothing else. Then eventually, oh, okay, there's a dog over here, and he wants to get out of the room. And eventually, Ishan started reading a book as a pillion. He's like, I have nothing to do for like these 20 remaining days. Then he started reading a book
while on the bike.
On the bike, exactly.
Not good idea.
As a pillion, you can do anything. You have luxury of doing anything. And then he's like, he reads a story and then he tells me that story. So it went on while returning back from Delhi. So it was like that only. So as a pillion, yeah, better have a book. As a rider, just stay focused. That's all.
Yeah. I think, I mean, for those of you who know me or even Salvatore for that matter, you know that we tend to get into that Baba mood quite often. And I realized at some point of time, I thought that there is a state called the pillion. So when you're a pillion, you literally have nothing to do. So you as a pillion feel like taking more breaks, stopping more often. But I said if I can reach the Zen mode of being a pillion, so that means that Salute, sir.
No, I'm just reading a comment.
So that means that if you reach, in my opinion, if you reach a state called being the pillion, that means you're not distracted by the amount of ass aches, bum aches that you're having, or the amount of times that you want to stop and just be lazy by taking a break. So I came up with a thing which I still carry with me. It's called the pillion, wherein you're not distracted by anything and you just focus to sit and do nothing.
There's somebody on Facebook. He's asking us, what according to us is good, hills or beats? Since it's we're talking about bike ride, we believe that he's talking about bike rides, riding on hills or on the beach side. So personally, hills, because there are a lot of curves and all, and it's a bit challenging. Also, you want to see what's coming after the next side, and hills can have a bit of cold breeze also. In terms of beach, it's going to be hot and it's just going to be straight, which is good. But then maybe hills have a bit of more variety to see.
So, Salvat sir, somebody on Instagram has said, "What is the longest you've been on the trip without taking a break? How many kilometers?"
Personally, we don't encourage that. We personally don't encourage that. But on that trip, we will share two moments. Just a moment.
When I picked up the dog, he was not that heavy.
So the first one was day one. There's a lot of energy in us, and we want to cover as much as we can. So we decided, okay, Goa, specifically South Goa, because we have not been to South Goa, and that was around 620 kilometers in one day. We initially planned leaving at 6 o'clock, but certain things happened, and then we left at 10 o'clock, and we reached Goa midnight. Like it took around
It was around 18 hours of
16, 17 hours, something like that, for 620 kilometers. But then we never had this target that we will be riding 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, and then we'll stop. Because somebody I've been following for certain good things in life, his name is Sumit Bose. So for some of you who have done treks with us, you might be knowing this guy. He's an amazing photographer. He has been riding bikes from a long time, and he helped us in getting a bit of a gear also. So he'd mentioned me before going on the bike trip, like, if you ever feel like you want to have a cup of tea, or you want to take a leak break or have a sip of water, just stop, because when you're riding at maybe 70, 80 kilometers, that's the maximum we wanted to go. Yeah. Then that time, your attention needs to be very strong. So if you're distracted by, okay, I want to have tea, coffee, or something, things happen on road in 1 second, and you don't want that risk.
That's true.
So we never encouraged that kind of a behavior, but we had certain differences. When I was riding in full flow, and I'm like, yeah, life is good, life is chill, as I'm enjoying the road. Then Ishan was like,
My butt aches.
I'm like, come on, man. We have just started riding, like, enjoy the breeze and all that kind of a thing. Then he's like, I wanna leak. It just happened 50 minutes back, but those differences happen. But it's always good to take rest.
That's the beauty of it. A lot of people also ask us, even for GBL treks that we go for, the exploratories that we go for, how do we find these places? How do we travel? What do? We don't really have any fundas. We just take it easy. And even for our Speedbaker bike trip, I think we idea was to have fun. I think that's why we were spending at least 10 hours, at least 10 hours a day, almost every day on bike. So there was, because the idea was to have fun, and we were having fun, and we got the pleasure to meet so many wonderful people while we were on road. I mean, I will actually share a few moments which have stayed back at every campfire which happens at GBL. I very fondly share it. But before that, somebody else has a very nice question. Rashmi says, "How have you guys been keeping yourselves from missing all the traveling?" Rashmi, very good question. Salman sir, what is the answer?
How have we been keeping ourselves away from traveling?
From missing from traveling, I don't think she means we should travel because it's a lockdown. I think she means because we travel a lot. So how are we keeping ourselves?
I think coming on Instagram
and talking about our travel.
Yeah, but then we are doing certain things. We are working on certain things. For us, it's not much of a difference that we personally feel, except that yes, we're not going out of home and all. There's some sort of work is already happening. Yeah, of course, like everyone, we're missing the travel and all, but that's what is important right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So before I share one of the few things which are generally very nice about the people that we encounter, a few more comments people have said. Parth on Facebook says, "When was the last time you went to Goa?" I think I don't know the time on the bike. Salman sir, Parth says, "When was the last time you went to Goa?"
Path, that was last year, but it was not on motorcycle. Motorcycle was 2017 only. I love Goa. I keep on going there every year.
Like,
We're supposed to go Goa this weekend also, but we're not going. Yeah.
who doesn't? So, okay. So one moment, and I'd like to actually take a moment to acknowledge this beautiful thing. Actually, two things, but we'll keep it short. We don't want to make it a very big video. Also, is about we went to in Goa. There is a place called Dholavira. So it's a very remote place. It's
Gujarati means.
Gujarat. Oh, I'm still dreaming about Goa. So Gujarat, there is a city called Dholavira. So if any of you have been there, it's a place where the Harappan civilization was excavated. So it's very rare for anybody to find a lot of civilization there. So we went there, we checked into a hotel, and the helper, the caretaker of the property, was a very nice guy, helped us, and we had to check out by 12 p.m. And once we checked out, we asked him, "Sir, is there any place where we can have lunch?" And because there was no other visible place to have food, so he said that, "Sir, एक जगह है जहाँ आप खा सकते हो, but मैं नहीं बताऊंगा." Meaning, I'm sure everybody gets it, but meaning that there is one place where you can have food, but I will not tell you what that place is. So we're like, what a rude guy. But he said that, "Sir, you can go to that place and you can have food, but you don't have to pay there because that place is called my house." And we were taken aback that people exist like that. And because living in Bangalore, my experiences with auto people are generally not great, and they ask for, say, I say Kormangla to HSR jana hai, and they'll be like $200, and like $200 is the fare, but give me 350, 100 rupees, so 150 rupees so tum extra de sakta hai. So I have not had great experiences with auto people, so my faith in people being so nice in the traveling sector had kind of been lost, but it was restored when the person said, "Sir, you are our guest, you're Gujarat's guest, and you come to my house and you eat as much as you can, but you do not pay." That was a very touchy moment. And there was another moment like this. It's a long story, but yes, another time in Gujarat, a halwai guy apparently offered us a lot of free food and did not charge money because we were Gujarat's guests. So that was
So
really nice.
they saw our bike number. They initially saw, okay, these are two guys who look tired, maybe, and wearing some weird clothes and all with bags and all. And then they started enjoying the jalebi and couple of sweets that we were having. And then we were asking for more and more sweets. And then this guy is like, at the end of when we want to settle all the bills and all, he's like, no, don't pay. You are guest for us. That those were the moments that we had in Gujarat. So I think it's like one of our like favorite places in our Speedbrakers
The
trip.
entire 25-day trip. Sir, which was the most scariest trip portion of the trip?
Okay, so riding when we Delhi is cold. We started in January, maybe first week of January we started, and we were back to Bangalore by end of Jan or maybe first week of Feb. So at that time, North India is pretty cold. We reached Delhi, and Delhi has this thing of fog and all those kind of things. And we thought of leaving Delhi by maybe around 12 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so that the fog is less. And maybe we stop somewhere at Agra or somewhere around that highway. And we went from this Delhi Agra highway. It was still evening, and then Google Maps has his own funny way of giving us shortcuts from some internal routes. We connected Dholavira. Now this particular highway, it's dark. It's around maybe 9 o'clock in the night, and a lot of mist. You can't see anything. The visibility was not even more than 1 meters. We don't encourage that.
I just hope my father is not watching.
We do not encourage that. That was one of the scariest moments personally for me. I'm like, you're riding, you're responsible for things that are happening, and you don't know what's next. You don't know what's behind also. That guy also doesn't
That
know
was me. I was behind.
So that was personally a bit scary moment for me. But we eventually made these calls on the highway. I personally made targets. Ishan has been very nice as a pillion. I personally made targets in my head. Okay, today we are supposed to reach here. because if you don't reach here, then it's only me who will be riding it for one more day,
That's true.
and pain in the butt is real. Eventually, you get used to it.
That's true.
So there was one point like somewhere at before Udaipur and all, we wanted to go to some temple.
It's called Chudail Mata Ka Mandir. Is there anybody who's heard of Chudail Mata Ka Mandir? All respect and bowing down to the mighty temple. But there is a place called Chudail Mata Ka Mandir. Has anybody in any platform, in YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, has anybody heard of Chudail Mata Ka Mandir? Please comment. We have some questions because we could not go to that place
Yeah.
because of a very wise decision.
So we could not go there. It was maybe at around 8 or 9 o'clock. If we continued riding, maybe by 10 p.m. we would have been there. But I was not feeling right. There were lights too much. You know how people drive on roads, high beams and all those kind of things. And I was just not getting the right feeling of riding. So we just stopped, had our dinner, searched for some motel, and that's it. We stopped the trip over there. So then we eventually discussed that okay, we're not here for one day. It's going to be a long trip. We need to make those wise decisions when safety is priority than anything else.
That's true. I mean, the joke about Chudail Mata Ka Mandir, no, that is a place there. But our learning from there was that there is at some point of time, the adrenaline rush when you're on roads or when you're in the outdoors is great. But you also have to identify that if you do something that you shouldn't be doing, probably there will be no adrenaline left. So, safety is the first and foremost thing. And we definitely do not encourage that kind of behavior. At least we can't connect to moments where people say that I was riding for 9 hours continuously, 12 hours continuously, did 800 kilometers. We are not saying that's bad. Of course, you do your thing, but yes, as long as you're safe and if you can maintain safety for 9 hours continuously, then insane. You should probably be in the army and join the doctors, help fight coronavirus.
Yeah. So safety is very very important. We had the necessary safety gear with us. Helmets always, good helmets, not just the fancy helmets. Both the riders, rider and pillion. Basically, now he is a rider also, by the way. So that's very important, and maintaining a certain speed. Like we were never in a rush except reaching Goa.
Because it's cool. Because why not?
Oh, yeah. Then we were not in a rush. Yes, there were moments when we were riding fast on the highway, but the highway was like that. So personally, my favorite highway has been from Daman. We went towards Ahmedabad. So that particular stretch, it's also called as the Mumbai Ahmedabad highway. That's my favorite. Like there are some maybe 8 lanes or 12 lanes. I don't know how many lanes are there, and uh, mountains on the way. So who would not like to ride in between mountains and huge roads, like huge roads? People drive crazy over there. By crazy, I mean they drive really fast over there, and the highway has good restaurants, ATMs on the way. So it was not like it's just some shady highway.
Yeah. So, Salvat sir, should we talk about treks? Yeah. Is there anything particularly you want to share?
So somebody asked us on Instagram how much mileage was it giving, and about the funds, how we did
Managed
it.
to get funds for this much?
Yeah. So the motorcycle was giving a mileage of approximately 25 to 30 for the trip, because at times we were going beyond 80 and 90 kilometers per hour also. That's what we calculated. But then on an average, if you go on highway on bullet, okay, so this was bullet standard 350 cc. But on an average, if you use it on highways, it can give you around 30 kilometers also per liter. That's not much, but then when you plan to ride for maybe 6,000 kilometers, you need a bit of power also. But it's up to you. We
Says every bullet rider ever.
when you get a bullet, you don't talk about mileage. So that's a wrong question.
So yeah, I think overall 25 days, 11 states costed us how much, sir?
I think it cost us individually maybe 28,000.
So damn it, it costed us 28,000 individually. So that makes we split everything. So that makes it somewhere around 56.
54, 56. That included stay, food. Food was like I became fat after that, and fuel. Then bike servicing. We did two servicings on the way, 3,000 kilometer and 3,000 kilometer. Maybe a bit of maintenance also on the way.
Altering the bike also, we got ourselves a bike stand, saddle stand, which has the capacity to put bags either behind it or to the side, and Seven Sir still has it on his bike. So his bike, we were both very fascinated by mythology, and we ended up calling the bike Pushpak Viman, and that's a name that is still stayed back.
Yeah. Uh, there's one thing, if you want to reduce the costs, we were also planning to do by couch surfing. So when we started from here, we were doing couch surfing. I was personally using the couch surfing application, and people are nice in India. Let's accept that. They're just like you and me. Like we are like same. And when we know that somebody is riding from a certain place, then people are more welcoming. So we were getting invited by people at Daman. There was somebody who actually showed us the place.
If you're watching this, thanks man. You were really nice and helpful.
Yeah. And people in Ahmedabad wanted us to come to their place and stay. But then we realized eventually, and that when you ride and when you're a pillion reading books, then at the end of the day, you want to rest. You don't want to talk about anything. Maybe you just watch TV for 10 minutes, talk with your family and friends. And mentally, you are like, okay, you need to wake up at 6 o'clock, which never happens, and then pack the bag and then reach the next destination. So you are mentally pretty much occupied. So we did not acknowledge the couch surfing options that we had. We could have used that. And if we would have used that, then maybe the cost would have been reduced by at least 30%.
That's true. I mean, we did not have an idea that it has to be a cheap, like, insanely cheap trip. That was not the idea. So we had great fun, and I think with the kind of experience we met, such wonderful people who for the sense of it have left where they're. We met this amazing person from Kochi, I think, and we met them at some city, and we started talking, and we said, where are you going next? And he said, I have no idea. I've just picked up my bags and I've left. And in some ways that also gave us a perspective that there's so many things that are happening. We went to Gujarat and people did not voluntarily charge us for food and actually told us what real tourism, heart touching tourism is. We went to so many other places. We saw so many other things. So I think at the end of the day, it is an experience which is beyond pricing, and the idea was also just to go out and explore.
So before we end this up, in the conversation about Speedbrakers, we saw the dark side of travel also. It's not just a fancy thing. Just go and pick your bike and then ride, kind of thing. It's nothing like that. Highways are real, and if you're on a motorcycle, even in a car or on a truck, anything can happen. We saw a couple of things happening with fellow people, fellow riders. Somebody in a car, somebody on a scooter. We saw that happening right in front of our eyes. And when you see that, then I personally lost a bit of confidence at that particular moment on the highway. I was like, damn, it can happen to anyone. And it just 1 second that it takes, then all your ambitions on your life, all your loved ones, what do you plan for next day, and it's all gone. So one thing from our side, whenever you plan for a bike ride, we are sure that many people have been wanting to go for a bike ride and are planning this Ladakh thing and all those things. Enjoy as much as you can, but ride safe. Ride safe, that's more important. You can control yourself, but you can't control somebody else on the road. But if you're riding at a decent pace, slow preferably, average normal pace, whatever is required, there are still control in you. There's still control. You still have the control on your machine. So ride safe, people. Ride safe. That is one takeaway from it. Life is beautiful. You can have 1,000 bike rides and 1,000 amazing things. but it all takes one moment for it to go.
That's true. And just one last thing is in this respect to safety, we saw so many people without helmets. It was crazy. I mean, there, just so many people without helmets, and the thing with that is we actually in one of the accidents there was somebody who had fractured their bone, and nobody had a medical kit. Now it's okay when you're going to buy groceries, you don't carry a medical kit. It is quite understandable, but nobody had immediate medical supplies. So there was in that moment, luckily, thanks to the habit of carrying a medical kit, being a GBL outdoor leader, we had medical kits with us, and we immediately got those medical kits and we shared. So the point here is that be well prepared. And if you have a dog, you should know how to take care of it. That said, very lastly, guys, entertainment out of the way. Now we're here to talk about some serious things. You guys have any questions? Please post in the comment sections. That said, today by 8 o'clock or sometime around it, you will. We really wish we could show you photos and videos of all that we're talking about now. It definitely would have added more colors to the entire experience, but we will be posting these photographs of all the places that we mentioned. Now, trekking coronavirus. Is there anybody here who thinks that they should be trekking at this point of time? Even we will not wait for anybody to say yes, but you shouldn't, I mean, even if there was no lockdown at this point of time, the mountains are not going anywhere, right? And the vast oceans are not going anywhere. I think it is best to follow whatever is being told to everyone. Get Beyond Limits is an organization which is absolutely full time in the outdoors, in trekking, camping, and corporate events since almost 6 years. And we had already stopped our operations before the lockdown was even announced. A few days into this, we had stopped our operations. That's a very tough thing for us, because this is what we do and there is nothing else that we do. But the greater good here is to ensure that all of us are safe in the long run. So that's that. So GBL has at this point of time stopped all its treks and camping events. That said, there is one thing that we have done. This is a tough time for all of us, including you and everybody on the entire planet. Hope is something that gets us together and gets us encouraged. So GBL has announced from this point onwards till the point this live ends, from the point this live ends, head over to our website and you will see that all GBL departures, as a goodwill gesture from our side, showing a little bit of motivation to everyone, because even we need it and we are also missing the outdoors. We're going to knock off 40% price of all our departures from the 1st of June till we are in the lockdown. Otherwise, what? So from this point on till the time we are in lockdown, or maybe or before that, sometime before that, every trek camping event on our website after the 1st of June. Please note, we are not operational now. I am only talking about after the 1st of June. We are really wishful that things will get much better. And if not, we will of course not have our events. But if anybody books now, any of our departures post 1st of June, all at just 60% of the price. To give you some context, Dudhsagar, which was 5,000 earlier, is 2,900 something now. Kodochadri, which was around 34 earlier, is 2,000 now. It's only a goodwill gesture, a gesture to motivate us and everybody else to have hope. Things are going to get better. Life is beautiful. It shall remain beautiful, and a virus can't stop that. So it's already live. No coupons required. You could head. If you feel that you would be comfortable to trek post 1st of June, feel free to book at like literally throwaway prices. Never happened. So,
And do you guys want to know what's the name of the dog?
which we can't manage. Also, guys, before we say bye, if these are tough times for not just us, even animals, if you're petting a stray, or if there is a stray dog or any other pet in your area who you have been feeding food, if you feel that continuing to give food to them does not break the rules of the lockdown, please give them, I mean, continue giving them whatever you're giving, because as and when pets depend on us for their food, they lose their natural hunting abilities, and nobody's getting out of their houses, and they will not be able to manage food. So if you are feeding a stray, please continue to do so if that is possible, and of course it doesn't compromise on your safety. All right, folks. See you.
Yeah.
If you guys had fun, please let us know. We'll come back next week. We'll probably talk about the story of GBL, or we'll probably talk about any of our adventures. One of us summited a mountain, a crazy ass mountain, at 19,000 feet. We can talk about that. We can talk about our favorite treks, worst treks, new treks. GBL is launching our future plans, or so many other things. The idea is to be connected, to stay safe, keep each other entertained.
We'll give him also one chair over here so that he doesn't bother anyone.
There's a dog here.
There's a dog here, yeah. And the crazy mountain was Mount Frey. It's in Sikkim, and it's a technical expedition that somebody from our team has done.
Yeah. Right. And please give us suggestions. When we talk, we really want to be showing you photos also. I mean, we really worked hard to find it. The only option we found was screen share, but that way we will not be able to interact like this. So if there is any other way that we do not know, where we can even show you pictures as we speak, we would be more than happy to do that. As far as the small glimpse that we gave you of Speedbrakers, we will select some photographs and share them with you in the evening at 8. So,
all right, folks, need to handle this now.
There's a dog there. All right, guys, bye bye. Pleasure connecting with
Bye.
you. Stay safe, follow all the instructions, and no need to wear a mask in the house. All right, bye.